All right. Okay. Leave that there. Mm, it's not showing. Okay, there we go. That was a delay. Ooh, okay. I am ready to get started. More actions. Okay, now I'm ready. Good afternoon. So, yes, this is a pop up live. I was thinking about doing it, then I didn't want to do it, then I thought about doing it, then I didn't want to do it. So, boom, I'm doing it. Here we are. We're going to get this information out today. And I'm going to not go back and forth in my mind about whether or not I'm going to do it. So, today we are talking about what is your hair telling you. I want to help you all to discover your personal hair profile. Everyone has a different hair profile. So, when people ask me questions like what shampoo is best for Black women, or what type of conditioner should I use if I have curly hair, or what's the best type of products for type 4 or type 3C hair, that question is going to depend on a lot of different things. So I never just answer a question like that with one product or one solution, because it's going to depend on 4 different things. And that's what I want to go over today, what those 4 things are and what your body is telling you in regards to knowing what those things are. And then I'm going to give you a few tips. And then throughout the live, I'm going to talk to you about a new resource that I just launched today that will walk you through everything I'm telling you step by step, so that you can get this information for yourself and know the specific needs of your hair, so that every time you go shopping, every time you are looking at product ingredients, every time you are ready to buy something new, you know exactly what your hair needs. So nobody can just sell you anything, okay? You're going to know what your hair needs. And for those of you that are new, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. If you're watching the live or watching the replay, my name is Kendra and I am the founder of 180 Hair. So what we do over here is we help women over the age of 40 to restore and transform their hair health using holistic solutions. The holistic solution is the 180 method. The 180 method uses your mindset, your habits, and your nutrition to help to get your hair back to a healthy state. Okay, because many of you know once we reach a certain age, our hair takes a toll. Sometimes it takes a turn for the worse. Sometimes it doesn't do anything different at all. But for those of you that are dealing with hair issues, thinning, shedding, um, any type of hair loss, certain types of alopecia, hormonal issues, those type of things. What I do is teach you how to navigate through those things to get your hair back healthy using a holistic approach. Okay. So again, today we are talking about what your hair is trying to tell you. The only way you know what your hair is trying to tell you is to know your hair's profile. Okay. Your hair is always speaking. It has its own love language. And I want you to learn what that is today. Okay. And again, like I said, I just launched an ebook. I've pinned it in the comment section so you could check that out. And again, it is walking you through exactly what I'm telling you today, but it gives a lot more detail than what I'm going to give you in today's live. Okay. So if you are done guessing when it comes to your hair, this live is definitely going to be for you. Let me adjust my equipment just a little bit and make sure I'm in focus. Okay. So your hair, like I said, is always talking. Every time that you see an issue with your hair is sending you a message, okay? It's telling you what it needs more of, what it needs less of, what you need to do different, the type of products that it likes, all of those things. So you should not be randomly walking into a hair store, beauty supply store, online store, just buying products because you think that's what your hair needs. I want you to be absolutely sure what your hair needs based on what I'm about to teach you today. Okay, so you can stop asking yourself, what product should I try next? What should I spend my money on next? And start asking, what is my hair trying to tell me? What is my hair trying to teach me? What do I need to learn about my hair so that I know what to buy? Because your hair is like a mirror, okay? And it's reflecting things back to you. Your body, your spirit, your nervous system, all of these things are whispering something to you, because remember, hair issues are symptoms. It's always a symptom of something else going on within your body, within your mind, within your habits. Okay. And those are all the things that I teach. Okay. So let's first of all talk about the 4 things that you need to know about your hair before you buy any products. And I'll tell you why each of these are important. So the 4 things you need to know: number 1 is your scalp condition. Okay, you need to know the condition of your scalp. You need to know the porosity of your hair. We'll get into that. You'll need to know your strand structure. Okay, I'll explain what that is. And you will need to know your curl pattern. All of these are different things that are important when it comes to buying hair products and when it comes to treating your hair, especially if you are someone that does your hair yourself or you treat your hair yourself from home. You need to know exactly what to buy. Okay, so we're going to start with the scalp. Okay, the scalp is the foundation. That's where everything happens. That's where the growth happens. That's where the nutrients get fed to it. That's where we do our scalp massages for that reason. The blood flow, the blood stimulation to the scalp, that is the most important part of your hair system. Okay, we'll call it a hair system. Your scalp, it's like your soil. So if your scalp is dry, flaky, inflamed, or sore, it could be a lot of different reasons. So we can talk about this from the perspective of what your body is trying to tell you. Okay, we can talk about it from the perspective of what product you should be reaching for. But again, because this is a holistic approach, I like to look at all the aspects of it. Okay, sometimes those scalp issues are really tension that you're holding in your body. Okay, there are things like being undernourished, dehydrated, stressed, because a lot of us are stretched too thin. Okay, we are doing 20 things at once when we should only be doing like 4 or 5. Okay, your scalp might be telling you that it needs more gentleness, it needs more hydration, it needs more peace. Remember, your hair and scalp are not separate from your body. It's part of it. Just like if you strain yourself picking up something heavy, you're going to pull a muscle in your back, or you could possibly pull a muscle in your back. Okay, because your back is not separate from your body. Everything is connected. So when your hair is dealing with these issues, you need to understand that it's not just asking for another product. It could be telling you something else is going on within your body. Okay. A lot of times we just want something to help us grow our edges back. Trust me, I understand that. I've been making hair products for almost 10 years. I started making our number one selling hair and scalp treatment, the Balm. And a lot of my customers, the first thing they would say, I just want to grow my edges back. I just want to get some new growth, some good new growth. Okay. But using the products that I make, the products that anybody makes, is not going to help, especially if you're not doing foundational type things. Like, are you using water on your scalp? Are you hydrating your scalp? Are you hydrating your body from the inside? Or are you I had a lot of customers that were wearing wigs, right? Lace front wigs, no shade. I still have customers that wear wigs to this day. Hair extensions, none of that is an issue with me. It is, are you taking care of the hair that's underneath? Are you laying your lace wig on top of buildup and you haven't removed the dirt and the oil and the grease from your scalp, or you just slapping another wig on top? Okay. Are you oiling your flakes like it's seasoning? Okay. Some of my clients have so much dirt and grime builds up. It is so flaky. It just looks like somebody just sprinkled seasoning it's top of their scalp. Okay, so we're not doing that anymore. All right, I want to love on you real quick and let you know that that needs to stop, because your scalp is the most important part of your hair. Okay, your scalp is a part of your hair. Now, if you think about, we always use the analogy of the scalp being like a plant, your hair growth process being like a plant. You wouldn't plant something in crusty, dry soil and then blame the plant when nothing grows, right? So it's kind of like we're doing the same thing to our scalp. Your scalp is not just the base of your hair, it's part of your hair. It's like the command center, all right? It's the garden bed. For those of you that are spiritual, it's your root chakra. So that's the place where we try to protect the most. Okay, it's a lot of people that don't allow their hair to be touched by multiple different people. Okay, that's your crown. You want to protect that. So what's happening on your head usually reflects what's going on in your body for that reason. And I'll say this: be careful of who y'all be letting touch your hair, and even people that make their own products. Know the person that's making those products. If they're making those products from their home, you should know a little bit about them. Okay, I've got over 200 videos here on YouTube. I got videos on Facebook. I got videos on TikTok. My email address is always open, my messaging, all of that. So if any questions that you have about me, feel free to ask. But I'm saying all that to say, whoever is putting their energy, whether it's in their products or with their physical hands, you should know something about that person. Always protect yourself, okay? Because your head is a sacred place. All right? Excuse me. So, more connection to the body. If you have flakes, remember that could be a sign that you're not getting enough water. If you have tender spots in your scalp, that could be inflammation. Again, from carrying too much. Mentally, a lot of mental stress can cause your scalp to be tender and inflamed. Okay, if your scalp is greasy and irritated, this could be your body overproducing sebum. That's a natural oil that your scalp produces to keep your hair moisturized. So if your hair is, or if your body is in a stressful state, it could start doing those types of things like overproducing oil, because it's stress trying to protect you. Okay. If you're not seeing any new growth at all, if you feel like you're not getting any length retention, nothing's happening, your body just may be too tired to grow anything at the moment. Or it may just be that it's malnourished. Okay. And all the energy is just being used to keep up with you and keeping you alive. Remember, hair growth is a non-essential function of the body. So anytime that you are dealing with stressful situations, illnesses, all of those things, your nutrients, whatever nutrient reserve you have in your body, is going to be prioritized to your vital organs. Your hair growth is not a vital organ. So you have to remember that. Okay. Again, your scalp is a part of your body. It's not separate from it. So you can't do all the stuff like eating bad, having digestive issues, having nervous system issues, being stressed out, and then just use a product. It is not going to fix the problem. I can 100% guarantee that it won't. You have to deal with the internal stuff as well as the external. don't stop using your products, continue to do that, but also understand that it is not a one and done thing. Okay. Your scalp is a sacred place. I want you all to treat it as such. And now, so when you are cleansing your scalp, do you cleanse it with care? Or do you just shampoo and start over again? Okay. When you touch your scalp, do you touch it with love? Your scalp doesn't need more rough handling. It needs you to be present with it. It needs you to breathe through it. It needs you to inhale a little bit. Again, you want to get the blood flowing. You want to get the deep breaths, get the peace moving through your body, right? Gentle massages, even just taking a break from those super tight hairstyles. All of those things count, okay? All of those things help. Okay. Now, to wrap up that part, remember we're talking about the 4 things about your hair that you should know before you buy products. You should know these 4 things so that you can properly take care of your hair and have healthier hair growth. All right, because I know that's everybody's ultimate goal, which I always say hair growth is not a goal, but if that's the thing that most people are after, they want to see that their hair is growing. And these are the 4 things that I'm teaching you today on how you can make sure that you are using the right products based on your hair's profile. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. I'm teaching you how to build the profile of your hair. Now, again, like I said, I have an ebook or a guide that just launched today that goes over these 4 areas in detail. It tells you how to test each one so that you know the type of scalp issues that you have, if you have any at all. You may not even have scalp issues. But one of the things people ask, like I said in the beginning, is what's the best shampoo to use? For me, because every teacher may have a different method of teaching or what they prioritize when it comes to certain things. For me, your shampoo should be based on your scalp. Because when you shampoo your hair, the goal of the shampoo mostly is to get your scalp clean, okay? The scalp is where you have all of the dirt, the grime, the clogged pores, everything gets built up at the scalp. So your shampoo is to help you get your scalp clean. Now, of course, the shampoo gets on your hair. That's fine. You can't help that. But because your hair does get dirty as well. But your shampoo should mostly be based on the needs of your scalp, not necessarily your hair type. All right. So that was the first thing. So now we're going to move on to porosity. Okay. Porosity is the second thing that you need to know about your hair in order to buy products, in order to select the right products. Okay. Now, your porosity is your hair's intake pattern. All right. This is how well your hair absorbs and retains moisture. Okay. Does it allow the moisture in or does it block it? Okay. So these are the things that you need to know. So there's a lot of ways to do a hair porosity test. Inside the guide that I've linked below, there's 2 tests you can do to determine your hair porosity. A lot of times people already know what theirs is based on how their hair does when they shampoo it or when it gets wet. Okay. So for example, if you've ever drenched your hair in conditioner and then it still feels dry by the next day, or you use like a rich cream that it kind of like sits there and it never really soaks in, this is your porosity at work. Okay. Most of us are treating our porosity like a mystery or like it's not even existing. It's non-existent. When really this is your hair's way of telling you how it receives and holds nourishment. Okay. Porosity is important. Think about your hair like your digestive system. So porosity will be like the gut health of your hair, because you can eat the healthiest food in the world, but if your gut isn't absorbing the nutrients, then you're still going to be tired. You're still going to be malnourished. You're still going to be bloated or whatever it is. Think of your strands the same way when it comes to your porosity. You can use the best products money can buy, organic, handcrafted, DIY, blessed with the moon light of by the light of the moon. But if your porosity is off, it's not getting in. Okay, or worse, it gets in and falls back out because you don't know how to keep that product in locked into your hair. Okay. So there's three porosity types, three porosity personalities, three porosity types. Okay. Low porosity, we're going to call her the gatekeeper. All right. I'm going to give all these porosities personalities. Low porosity is the gatekeeper. She is picky. Okay. My girl, low porosity, she's picky. Water beads up on her, products sit on top. She doesn't let anything in. What you have to do if you have low porosity hair is you need heat or steam, okay, in order to open the cuticles and allow these things to get in, all right? She also likes lightweight products. So if you're someone with low porosity hair, using heavy oils and creams and butters is not going to help you unless you use a lot of heat, like sitting under a steamer or a hooded dryer is going to allow those cuticles to open to get that product in. Okay. Now, high porosity. She is the over giver. She soaks it all in, honey. She lets it all in, but then also lets it all out fast. Okay. Moisture runs through like a highway. Okay. This hair will need all the sealing, all the protection, and all the protein to rebuild its strength. Okay, so if you have high porosity hair and it seems like your hair does not stay moisturized no matter what you do, you need heavier product, thicker products. So you think your oils, creams, butters, protein treatments. Okay, high porosity, again, it is most common in people that use chemical treatments. If you've done relaxers most of your life, some people have high porosity genetically, like it's a genetic thing, but most of the time it's due to chemicals because they strip that cuticle layer and it damages it and then it's just left open. So your cuticles on your hair are like shingles on a roof. Okay. Low porosity, those shingles are packed tight together. Nothing gets in. High porosity, those cuticles are open. Everything gets in, but also everything gets out. So you need something to seal to keep those products in. Okay. And then medium porosity, she is like the perfect child. Okay. The balanced one. She gets it in, she holds it in, she lets it go when it's time. Okay. She doesn't need too much, just to be consistent and to treat the hair with care. Okay. If that's you, consider yourself lucky. Keep doing what you're doing. Consider yourself lucky because those of us out here with low porosity and high porosity is a struggle. And don't even get me started talking about frizz with people with high porosity. That's a whole other video by itself. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Remember, your hair is giving clues. So I've just given you two things that you need to know about your hair when buying products, or know how to know what to buy to properly take care of your hair. I always give product junkies a hard time, but listen, be a product junkie. I don't care. I understand we like to go in the store and we like to buy. Be a product junkie. Just be a product junkie for the stuff your hair actually needs so that you don't end up with a product graveyard. You don't end up with a cabinet full of stuff that you don't use or can't use because your hair doesn't like it. Okay. All right. So next the third thing is your strand structure. So the structure of your strand is going to include things like if your hair is fine, if your hair is coarse, if you have like a medium texture hair, and then it's also going to look at things like density. So that means low density is you have less amount of strands on your hair, so it looks thin, meaning you can see the scalp. And then high density, you have a thicker, or you have more strands per inch, per square inch on your scalp. So your hair naturally looks thicker. This doesn't mean that your strands are thick. This just means you have more hairs per square inch. I'll just say that. You have more surface area filled with hair. Okay? So why is your strand structure important? Now, think of it like this. If your hair it feels like some days it's thriving and some days it's not, and you're panicking and you've bought 12 products of some 12-step system and you're still not seeing the results, it could be your strand structure. Now, this is how thick your hair or your individual strands actually are. Okay, this isn't about density. We haven't got to density yet. This is about the thickness of the individual strands. Okay, now fine strands are like silk threads. They're delicate, they're lightweight, they get easily overwhelmed. So you cannot use a lot of product if you have fine strands. Okay, coarse strands, on the other hand, are like denim. Okay, they're strong, they're textured, but they need deep conditioning to stay soft. Okay, and then medium strands are like your comfortable leggings. Okay, they're dependable and they go with everything. So if you have medium strands, you can pretty much put most products on your hair will do well. I'm not going to say any product, but most products on your hair will do well. Okay. Again, if you have fine strands, this is a thinner hair. This hair is more fragile, not because it's weak, but because it reacts to everything. Okay, that's the product, the heat, the tension, even your even your mood swings. Okay, so if you have fine hair, you have to remember that it is more fragile than other hair types. Okay. Also, if you have coarse hair, this is typically the more textured hair. Okay. This is a more thicker strands, or some people will call it stubborn hair. This hair can take more, but it also needs more. Okay. So somebody with coarse hair might have to have a little bit more products than someone with thin hair. Okay. This hair doesn't break as easy, but it does get dry faster. Okay. It needs softness and stuff like that to balance the strength. All right. And then the medium strand hair, it's the in between. Again, this is the one that's the happy medium. It's balanced, it's flexible, it's not too soft, it's not too thin, it's not too thick. It holds styles really well. It keeps moisture and balance really well. Okay, but you still need to maintenance it. All right, you don't get cocky because you got medium you got the perfect thickness of strand. All right. Okay. And so now, still talking about strand structure, we want to talk about density. Remember I said density is how much hair you have on your scalp, how many hairs you have on your scalp. If you have low density, you don't have a ton of strands, but the strands that you do have, honey, they are valuable. Okay. Your hair might feel light, it might feel airy, or like it doesn't hold volume easily. Okay. This hair is, you have to be very strategic, okay, because you don't have a lot of strands. And then if you have high density hair, okay, that's low density. If you have high density, that's the hair that looks like it's just a lot of hairs. Not saying that the hair strands are thick, you just have a lot of volume, okay? When you do your twist out, they look nice and chunky. You can get a nice thick bun if you're someone that has enough hair to do that. Okay, your hair is just a lot. It's just a lot of hair. Okay. And then the medium density, again, that's the middle. That's the middle child. You got just enough to work with. It's not too thin. It's not a lot. It's not too full. It's not too sparse. Okay, you can fluff it up, slick it back, twist it, tuck it. It's versatile. It's not an issue. Okay. Whew, okay, so that's strand structure. So we got one more thing. One more thing about your hair that you need to know in order to know what products to buy. And this is your curl pattern. Okay. This is your curl pattern. This is, yes, your 4A, 3B, 2C, and all of that. Okay. So if you have ever typed into Google, how to make 4C hair stay curly, what products can help to define my 4C curl pattern, best products to define 4A hair, or how to stretch hair without heat. These are a lot of questions that get asked. These are a lot of Google searches that I see that people are doing. The videos that people are searching for on YouTube typically fall under that range of questions, okay? It's not a bad thing that you are asking that stuff, but here's the thing. Your curl pattern is like your hair's natural rhythm, okay? Everybody's is going to be different. Some of us that have 4C hair, 4C typically they say is zigzags, but I've seen women with 4C hair that have zigzags and tight coils, okay? You can have 4A in the top and 4C in the back, all right? You can have 2 to 3 different curl patterns, okay, in your hair or on your head at any given time. It doesn't just have to be one thing. You just need to understand what curl pattern or curl type you have. So let's just look at this really quickly. 4A. Now these are defined coils that curl with a little bit of water. All right. These are the people that get called good hair or natural curly hair. So a little water, a little grease, or a little cream, and a little bit of love, and the curls is popping. Okay, these are my 4A girlies. And then the 4B, so I'm only going to deal with the 4s in this video. If you want to learn about the 3s, then you can check that out inside the guide that's linked below. So the 4B, these are the zigzag patterns. I just talked about those. These are less defined curl, more volume. We'll say more volume and more power. Okay, this hair says it needs to, what was I going to say? I said less defined curl, more volume. And more volume is not always true, but it can tend to be curlier looking, okay? To get that curl really defined, you really have to be consistent with your product usage and how you do the curl defining process. You definitely have to be consistent with your moisture routine, okay? Because the shrinkage happens when the hair is not getting enough moisture on a regular basis. So that part is going to take time. If you're a 4B or a 4C girl that wants to see her curl pattern, you're going to have to stay consistent with your moisture. You're going to have to find the right products, okay? You're going to have to get past the stage of all the shrinkage. I think most women that are 4C, you see the videos where their hair looks this short and then they stretch it and it's down to the floor, okay? You could help that process by keeping your hair moisturized. Many women with that hair type have their hair tucked away under a style, under a wig, braids, and whatever. So it's really not getting enough moisture. But I've seen women with 4C hair that keep it really juicy because they keep it moisturized and they do the coils or the individual coily type natural hairstyles. All right. Now the 4C is going to be the tightest curl pattern. It's the main central for shrinkage. All right. But that's the one that is the most volatile when it comes to breakage if you don't keep it moisturized. Okay. So just remember that. Okay. What was I going to say next? Your curl pattern. Yes. So that was the last thing. So This whole series that we've talked about the 4 things you need to know about your hair in order to take care of it and buy the right products. It's been about helping you listen to your hair. Okay? Listen to your hair, listen to yourself. Okay? And when you are ready to go deeper and ready to build a routine using this information, you can download the guide that I've linked below, okay, and uncover what your hair is trying to teach you. Your hair, like I said in the beginning, has its own love language. You need to learn to speak that language. Once you learn to speak the love language or the language of your hair, you will fall in love with your hair again. I promise you. You just need to understand the 4 things we talked about: your scalp, your porosity, your strand structure, and your curl pattern, okay, or your curl type. Okay? So, again, I uncover all of this in detail in my new guide. You'll learn how to decode your scalp. You'll learn how to test for your porosity. You'll learn how to determine your strand structure and your density. And you should already know your curl pattern. I think that's one thing that most people know for sure is their curl pattern, but there's also a guide in the book as well to help you compare your strands to see kind of where you fall. Because sometimes you may be in between a 4B and a 4C. It's not always going to be a perfect system, but at least it gives you a general idea of what your hair actually is, so you'll know what it needs. Okay? So even inside the guide, there is a section for you to create your own product profile. So you'll take the information that you learn in the guide and you'll create your own profile. You can take that sheet, print it out, write the stuff in there, or do it inside your phone or your tablet. And then when you go shopping or when you are looking for products, you know what to look for. Inside the guide, I even include, because I know y'all be about what brand. I actually listed some brands. There are actually some brands listed for each aspect of the hair profile that we discussed here. So for example, if you have high porosity, I suggest a few products that are good for the high porosity hair type. If you have an itchy, irritated scalp, I listed a few shampoos that are going to be soothing and gentle enough for that type of scalp issue. Okay? So everything that you need is going to be in this guide. All right? Again, if you have ever asked a question or ever said, I don't know what product to use, Kendra, what shampoo am I supposed to use for this? What's the best conditioner? What's the best? Everybody wants to know what's the best. The best product is going to be the one for your hair type, for your hair profile. I'm going to say your hair type, for your hair profile. That's going to be the best product. Because what I use and what works for my hair doesn't work for my sister's hair, for example. My sister was using a product and I was like, girl, your hair is cute. Your hair looks good and healthy. What you using? And when she showed me, I was like, girl, I can't use this. I already know this is not going to work for me. So you just have to know enough about your hair in order to care for it properly. Okay. Now, if you want deeper support, so I do offer some one-on-one consultations where you fill out a little questionnaire and we kind of go over some of the things that you're currently doing in your hair routine that might need to change. I like doing those. They're one-on-ones and they help you to focus on one thing at a time. Focus on one thing at a time. We talk about the products that you're using. We talk about some of the things we discussed here, specifically related to your hair profile, so you know what to buy. And we also talk about nutrition because that's very important. I didn't talk much about nutrition here because it's not discussed in the guide. I actually have another guide that's 100% dedicated to nutrition. This is just one part of the process, okay? But like I said, if you want deeper support, I do offer that where we look at everything. We look at your habits, we look at your nutrition, we look at the products that you're currently using, we look at your mindset around what it is that your goals are, all of that. So that's very important. Okay. But this guide is a good place to start. Even if you just watch this video, it's enough information to get you started. Okay, this is a good first step. Everybody's not ready to dive deep into changing their diet or changing how they eat. So if you want to just know what you need to buy, this guide is going to be the best place to start. Okay, I'm so tired of seeing women being frustrated and discouraged about their hair, and I hear this all the time. I'm tired of wasting money on products. I'm tired of wasting money on products. I'm tired of spending my money on products that don't work. It's not that the products don't work. It's just that you are not buying what your hair actually needs. Okay? You just not buying what your hair actually needs, and it's not your fault. If you don't know, you don't know. But once you understand your hair profile, then you can buy the things that your hair needs and you are less likely to waste money. Okay, so if you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Hey, Oddly, I see you. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining. I don't know if she's still on because sometimes my views don't show right. Okay, I'll leave it alone. Let me respond to her really quick. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Again, this was a pop-up live. I'm sure we will get more views on the replay, so I won't drag this out so that when people come back to watch, they can just flow right through it. Okay, so those of you that are watching, thank you again for being here. I hope that you found this information helpful. If you did, drop me a like in the comments. If you're not following my channel, please do so. Subscribe and turn your notifications on because I do drop videos every week dealing with hair issues or hair information or hair loss help for women over 40. So if that's something that is interesting or that resonates with you, please continue to watch these videos or tune in whenever we go live or drop a new video. All right. And remember, as always, you deserve hair that's healthy and growing. It's my mission to help you get there. Thank you again so much for being here, and I will see you all in the next one.